Welcome to Design This, Beyond the Dieline. My guest is the creative director of Bud's Goods and Provisions, a New England cannabis brand based in Worcester, Massachusetts. She's responsible for bringing the creative vision of Bud's Goods to life through all visual touchpoints, including the opening of 3 adult-use cannabis dispensaries in Massachusetts and the successful launch of 2 cannabis products, Lil Bud's and Lil Jay's. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna kick things off a little bit, but I'm excited to hear from you. So, before Bud's Goods, you worked in the food and beverage industry as a design manager for 2 international restaurant chains in New York City, and then eventually you made it to Bud's Goods. Then you launched your own design consulting company. Talk to me about what made you, or what made you make that transition.
Yeah, so I mean, I spent about 7 years in New York. I really loved it. It's a completely different experience from, what I have currently and what I had before. And yeah, I worked in the food and beverage industry as a design manager. And I just, after some time doing that, I just wanted to be off on my own, be my own like creative director, essentially. And kind of make my own path. And my husband and I, we moved out to the New England area, and yeah, I just took on being a full-time illustrator. Still had a lot of the same clients, but yeah, that's when I was approached by Bud's Goods actually to do some illustration work initially. So yeah,
Okay.
I was
So it
initially a
wasn't,
freelance client.
got you. So it wasn't like Bud's Goods stole you from your traditional job. It was more you left on your own looking for something and Bud's Goods found you.
Yes, yeah.
Which is a really cool story. So I've worked a lot in food and beverage as well as a designer. So I'm interested to know, like, what are the biggest things that you learned from your experience that you're applying to your new endeavor?
Ooh, a little bit of everything. I mean, the biggest thing, you go to school for design and you think that everything you're learning, it's going to apply right away to everything in the real life. And then you get into a first-time job and it's, you learn more in a day than you did in like 4 years at school. Like you just get really thrown into it. And I learned so much. I mean, one of the things I take a lot from is my packaging experience. I play that a lot within the cannabis industry now. It's very different. Obviously, there's a lot more rules and guidelines, and you can't do quite as many things as you can with food and beverage. But that's definitely something that I learned a lot from within the food and beverage industry that I was able to like take directly to cannabis, as well as just, I mean, it's the same kind of principles, you're just kind of switching it up a bit.
Yeah, I agree. That was some of the biggest things I took away too, is the packaging experience that I learned there, especially when it came to regulatory and some of those, especially when you're talking about food and beverage, because these are things that are being consumed. So there's a lot of things that you don't really know going in that you learn as a professional in that space that you then take with you. And then the scale, just like the sheer scale of food and beverage, just because
Oh
of
yeah.
all the, yeah, that like that part, like anything that you're designing for is reaching millions and millions of people.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah. There's nothing like seeing your first piece that you've done like actually out in the wild and be able to like hold it. That's probably the most like rewarding part. And there's a lot of that with food and beverage. I mean, down to just like doing menu design and having people hold the menu is just really rewarding. The little things.
nice. Was there a sense of freedom coming from your experience in New York and then venturing out on your own? And how did that impact your lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons that I left to kind of go off on my own, was just to have that freedom to do exactly what I wanted and to kind of see the vision that I had not get kind of watered down through the process of like, 50 groups of people that everyone has their opinion, just to really kind of commit to my design was huge. So that's one of the reasons I left, to really be like responsible for the entire vision, like from the beginning to the very end. And now with Buds, I mean, I'm given a lot of freedom, and it's it's fantastic. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. I feel very lucky.
Nice.
And it's great where I feel that my vision for Buds very much aligns like exactly with our CEO's Alex's vision. So it's very like there was never any complications. It's just like what I think he's also thinking. It's great. Never had that before. So
Yeah, it sounds like a match made in heaven.
yeah, it's great.
That's perfect. I only asked that question because I think it's fascinating when people make that decision for themselves to like really go after their own freedom. But what that comes with is the freedom of choice for you to make your own decisions and make your own choices. So I'm always interested to see like what choices people end up making for themselves and what that leads to for them. So it sounds like it's led you to a really happy place. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very scary initially to make the leap. And you don't have that security of like a paycheck exactly every single week. You kind of just got to roll with it and put a lot of faith into it. But yeah, it was great. I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that insecurity comes with the territory, right? At least
oh
in the
yeah.
beginning, for sure. So you were recently a juror in the 2022 Clio Cannabis Awards that happened in September at the MJ Unpacked. How was that experience and the amount of creativity that you saw from the competition?
Yeah, that was such an honor. It was so great being among all those people. I felt like I'm like, are you sure you meant to include me in this? Like just the names that were in the group. It's so wild. Yeah, it was such an honor. Really great to see all the submissions that came in. And we went through like piece by piece and talked through them. And yeah, it's really, really great to see the different perspectives for every single item. We had a lot of different varying opinions on like based on our own backgrounds and our own like views on what is creative and what's not, because that's the whole point of the Clios. Everything's based on like creativity. That's what you're judging on. So and it's hard with the cannabis industry because it is so new, and there's so many rules, and there's so many things like we can't do, and we have to be creative in kind of a different way than any other industry. We can't just like do traditional advertising. So it was amazing to see just how people approach being creative with such like limitations.
Yeah. Were there any in particular, just off the top of your head, that stood out that you can
Um,
remember? So you were a judge at MJ Unpacked, and during your experience as a judge, was there anything that you saw that was significant or inspiring, or vice versa? Like, was there anything that was common that you saw just in that from your perspective as a judge?
yeah, one of the things that I was really kind of delighted to see was the amount of female representation in like different products, because a lot of the times it becomes kind of a stonery bro culture with a lot of different products. It's very much targeted towards the same exact person, copy paste. But it was really amazing to see how many products were directed more towards women and really kind of highlighted that side of it without it being gimmicky. Like Miss Grass, for example, does amazing work. That whole brand was really one of like my personal highlights. I was very excited when I saw them in there. So
That's a good point. Like, and that's something that we talk about a lot is the wide open space for female entrepreneurship in the industry. And that's true for every, up and coming industry. Like, we work a lot in crypto and in cannabis, and these are two industries that are new, rising, could be considered high risk industries, but it's an open space for female entrepreneurs to really get in and cut their teeth, as they say, and just try some things out and find their way. And a lot of them are like, I've met a lot of female entrepreneurs that have inspired me, that are make like breaking ground in the space, and I love all of the work that they're doing. So
Yeah,
no,
it's really
great.
incredible to
That's a
see.
great point. So last year, Bud's Goods got a bronze award of your own, and your campaign that was titled New England Cannabis Brand that sells good bud to great neighbors. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I gotta tell you that in the same line of how surprised I was to be asked to be a judge, we were shocked to be awarded. I mean, it's the Clios, it's huge. It's like it's a big deal, and we're a small company. We're based out of like Massachusetts, and everything with cannabis, it's all the West Coast. So being able to represent the East Coast was really exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah, we won for our retail design, for brand identity, and for one other thing, our print materials. And yeah, getting to hold those Clios for the first time, it was incredible.
Awesome. Well, you're extremely humble because it
Oh,
sounds like you guys did some incredible work,
thank you.
and that the awards were just deserved. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell me more about Lil Buds and Lil Jays, because those are two really, it sounds like really fun products. Like, what's been your experience with them? Well, first, what
Yes.
what are they? What are those products for the people that are listening?
Yeah, so Little Buds, it's an eighth of cannabis, and it's like in this small mylar bag, very cute illustrations on the outside. The great
Mhm.
thing about it really helped lower the cost of cannabis within Massachusetts, because like when we launched
Mm.
it in the end of 2019, you couldn't get an eighth for like less than $50 in
Mm.
Massachusetts. So we really wanted to find a way to introduce a like more affordable product that was safe and tested,
Mm.
and that's why we launched Little Buds. Um,
And that's why they call it the people's eighth, huh?
exactly.
That's cool. That's cool. That no, that makes sense. That makes sense now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's our most like requested product. There's people that come in every single day and get it. We got our Little Buds customer that is very loyal, and it's been great to see people love it. And yeah, they are popcorn buds. And yeah, we've even now made them in larger sizes. Like now we have like half ounces, and people love it.
Okay.
And then the Lil Jays, it's
Mm.
essentially taking that and doing it in pre-roll form. So it's 10.35 gram pre-rolls. So it makes an eighth, and it's like in a little tin, um,
Mm.
and kind of follows the same branding. But yeah, again, in that tin form, and it's perfect, fits right in your pocket. You can't really, it's like indestructible. So if you're throwing it in your bag or anything, it's always good. And yeah, those have been really successful as well.
That's awesome. It sounds like some good design decisions were made for those products because you're really thinking about the people and what do they want? What do they need?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it feels like, especially now, I mean, every week it's different in this industry, but it really is
Mhm.
like people are just trying to get to the lowest price possible. And we really want to
Yeah.
be able to like deliver and be available at a low price, but also like be able to back our quality. Um,
Hmm.
so that's
Which
why we
is
came up
always
with
a
them.
tough target to hit. It's always
Yeah.
tough. It's like, So yeah, congratulations on that, by the way, too, because it's tough to make so many people happy, but then also follow through on the quality behind the product because things cost, you know?
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it's a plant. So I mean it's not like there's a lot of quality control that goes into it and making sure that we feel very confident about like each and every product we're putting out there. So yeah.
Mhm. Nice. So you've seen a lot, you've done a lot, um, you've accomplished a lot. What are you excited about now?
Ooh. I mean, our big goal with Buds is to get to the point where like there's always West Coast brands coming over. Like we want to be the first East Coast brand to be like recognized on a national scale. So
Mhm.
that's really what we're going for. Like we want to go beyond just Massachusetts. And yeah, we're going to be doing more packaging, more products, hopefully more states. We'll see. It's a very
Okay.
long road, but yeah, that's what I'm excited about, just bringing Buds to as many people as we can.
Mhm. Absolutely. Are there any new drops or anything, any new announcements coming from Buds that you're excited about that people should know about?
Hmm. I'm like, what can I talk about? I know we have a lot. We have some fun like fall merch coming up that I'm excited about because I'm always wearing all my Buds gear. We got some
Mhm.
like the classic pom pom hat that's very excited about, which
Okay.
is great for a New England winter. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got.
Yeah, it's coming up, right? Like it's gonna start
Hmm.
being cold outside, so you gotta start thinking about that.
Yeah, yeah.
What about beyond buds? What about for yourself? Is there
Yeah,
anything you
like
personally
so
excited about?
yeah, I still do some like freelance illustration work. I love doing it. It's great to
Mm-hmm.
like kind of mix it up and do something else. For like the longest time, I get so used to like working for a brand, you're kind of doing the same consistent style over and over again. So I like to still do things on the side so I can kind of explore, I don't know, different sides to things because
Mm-hmm.
got to keep it interesting.
Yeah, it's important to stay inspired. We
Yeah,
have those
exactly.
conversations a lot. We get tied into the projects that we're working on and with the people that we're working with, but it's always important to pour into yourself and just see where your imagination takes you.
Yeah, like I just randomly started like starting to refinish random furniture that I buy on Facebook Marketplace. And it's a lot of fun. It's just been a great new creative outlet to just like do that and learn all about how to refinish things. And, it gets me away from the computer because, I'm
Mhm.
sure you're the same. I spend all my time on the computer. My eyes are like drained.
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of switch it up.
Very cool. And I have to ask, what do you think about, because we speak a lot about crypto and cannabis as well on this podcast. Um, what do you think about crypto and Web3 and all the new technology that's out there? And how do you think that it might impact yourself or where you are in your industry?
So I'm not super into crypto, so I'm probably gonna come off like very ignorant.
No, it's okay. No
But I do
worries. I'm
know
just
that
curious.
like we were really excited at Bud specifically to be able to we do accept crypto, we accept Bitcoin. So that
Mhm.
was really exciting for us because we can't take credit cards. We can only do
Right.
cash. Like so
Hmm.
to have an alternative is just,
Hmm.
I mean, we'll take it. Um, for a while, I was getting really into the idea of maybe doing some kind of like, I know this isn't exactly the same thing, but like doing an NFT for cannabis, something like that. I thought would be really
Hmm.
interesting, but NFTs are kind of in a weird place right now, I feel like.
Hmm.
um, But yeah, I mean, I feel like the opportunities are they're there. I've seen I can't remember what brand it was, but they opened up like a dispensary within uh the metaverse. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. Who knows where like in a couple of years, like you can be in some crazy places.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The future will tell us. There's a lot of developments being made right now, and things are moving pretty fast. So I'm excited about where everything's headed for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to keep on top of it. Every day it's
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's yeah, like the cannabis industry. Every day there's a new thing.
Mm-hmm. What's the biggest thing that you think people? Because we also talk about branding and storytelling. A
Mhm.
lot of my experience personally is in branding and storytelling. So what do you think is unique about Bud's story or their brand that really resonates with people and makes people really fall in love with Buds and buys
Yeah.
into that product and brand?
Yeah, I mean the brand it's incredibly welcoming and
Mm,
in a way like if you're not already experienced with cannabis, it can be very intimidating and very hard to like approach. So
mm,
with the brand, we really wanted it to be like as approachable as possible. We want you to like feel at home as soon as you walk into the dispensary, um, and not feel intimidated, feel like you can ask questions and do it in a way where it's like, I don't know, it's not pretentious in any way.
mm.
You don't feel like you're walking into an Apple store, but you also don't feel like you're walking into someone's like basement. It's like something in the middle where you feel like you're welcome. So that's a big part of the brand, obviously,
Okay.
as much as New England is. I mean,
Mm,
the whole brand is inspired by New England, very like
mm.
modern Americana, and sports, of course,
Okay.
because we're New England and we love our sports.
Yeah, of course. Got the Patriots over there.
Yeah. But I feel like that really separates us from a lot of brands. Just like we
Mm,
really have a deep story to who we are.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a friendly brand with friendly products. Really lives up to its name. It's like the people's bud. It's like your buddy, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, the people's eighth. Like I love it. Very cool. So where can our listeners go to find out more about your work or what's happening with Bud?
Yeah. So it's just budsgoods.com. Um, and then at Buds Goods. And then I'm at JFIMS Designs. Um,
Okay. Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you for
thank
your
you.
perspective. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you can download episodes of Design This Beyond the Dieline. Look for all of our episodes by going to cannabisradio.com or subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Until next time, always think beyond the dieline.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast, republication, or retransmission of this program without proper consent is prohibited.